Night court is now in session. Former Trump campaign volunteer Carter Page says he's going to update a slander lawsuit he currently has pending against the Huffington Post and Yahoo News, among others. Yahoo News published a report last fall that Page met two Kremlin figures in July 2016 and tried to negotiate an end to U.S. sanctions. According to the memo released today, the FISA application used to get permission to spy on Page cited that Yahoo News report, which the memo claims the FBI used to corroborate the so-called dirty dossier, but apparently it was the author of the dossier who leaked material to Yahoo News. If that's not confusing enough, we'll, figure it all out for you here. In a statement to the Washington Examiner, Page says this: I look forward to updating my pending legal action in opposition to the Department of Justice this weekend in preparation for Monday's next small step on the long potholed road toward helping to restore law and order in our great country. He's always colorful. Let's bring in our legal eagles, David Bruno, a criminal defense attorney and former prosecutor, and Bob Bianchi, a criminal defense attorney and former head county prosecutor. Great to have you both with us.
Hi, Shannon.
Okay, so I'm going to read a little bit from the original article back in 2016 that has upset Mr. Page. He says some of those, this is what it says about him, some of those briefed were taken aback when they learned about Page's contacts in Moscow, viewing them as a possible back channel to the Russians that could undercut U.S. foreign policy, said a congressional source. He was not too happy about that.
Yeah, but unfortunate for him, in his slander suit, which I believe is 400 pages long.
Yeah, he's representing himself.
Filed by him, pro se, is that a lot of what came out in this memo, and we know there's a lot more information that did not come out, verifies that, in fact, what he says is slander was true. And truth, as you know, Shannon, is an absolute defense to his slander suit. So, unfortunately, in an ironic twist of fate for Mr. Page and his hat that he wears when he's in the rain and he's walking around, his slander suit has just gone down the tubes.
Okay, are you saying the truth is that they were quoting from a dossier they believe to be true, or the contents of the dossier are true?
Well, the contents of what the dossier is saying, or with respect to what was reported, have, in fact, that he is being looked at for having contacts with the Russians, is, in fact, turning out to be correct. And he himself has admitted to the media, which is another problem he has. When you're in a slander suit, you're arguing my reputation has been damaged. But he himself has said, yes, I've met Kislyak. Yes, I did have encounters with the Russians. Yes, I did go there. So a lot of this information is being verified. So I think his slander suit is gone.
But he is denying some of the things that have been alleged against him. And he says these people should have known better. It was a dirty dossier. And here's part of his complaint, as you mentioned, 400 pages long. He says on September 23rd, 2016, and perhaps the most dangerous, reckless, irresponsible, and historically instrumental monuments in modern-day sensational crime story journalism. That's a lot of adjectives.
Definitely.
The Yahoo News Department of Defendant Oaths, that's the overall company, subsidiary Yahoo chose to publish a highly misleading article filled with false allegations. All right, so what are his best claims?
Yeah, his claim now, he does have to get rid of the defamation claim, because one of his points was he wasn't under investigation. Now we clearly know he was. There were warrants that got him a wiretap against him.
But what about his specific claims? There were meetings and things that they allege that he didn't attend and that he had no part of.
Sure, I guess those claims could still be pursued, but certainly not that he wasn't under investigation. That's clear. But now he can amend his complaint. I would imagine that he would amend it that his constitutional rights were violated, his Fourth Amendment rights against unlawful searches and seizures. And that is that they secured this wiretap, this warrant against him, and they did not have probable cause. The argument is that Director Comey was the one who approved it and signed it, at least part of it, and he later said that it was unverified and salacious to Donald Trump 2 weeks later. You can't have it both ways. It can't be unverified and salacious and also be credible enough to be supporting probable cause.
Yeah, Carter Page would be out of his mind to continue with a lawsuit with Discovery. I have to disagree with my friend here because, listen, we know for years before he was on the radar. The Papadopoulos information came out, and he was an associate of the Trump campaign. And the Steele dossier came out, whether you agree with most of it or you don't. It had to have the FBI wondering, what is it with this guy, Carter Page? He keeps coming back up on the radar, and now we have this Papadopoulos situation. It was a completely valid thing as a law enforcement officer, as a person who was authorized these search warrants. And what, just one my last point before Dave goes. What amazes me that I love about this story is finally, finally, as a former civil rights litigator, arguing against police brutality, usually with black and brown people, people are finally now concerned about the constitutional rights of individuals, and that's a good thing.
Yeah,
10 seconds.
It's interesting you bring up Papadopoulos. It's number 5 in the Nunez memo. Papadopoulos had nothing to do with Page. There was no association, no conspiracy, and it shouldn't have been used in the warrant against Page.
They were both working for the Trump campaign.
Oh, boy. Or volunteers or tangentially associated at some point. Thank you both. Night court is over.
Thank you, Shannon.
All right, time